Hey, this is Ramon, Channel Alpha 4, and welcome to my Bible study series. This week we are doing Genesis chapter 34, the descendants of Esau. Just a reminder, our format is summary, then notes with their relevant readings. This week we will be reading out of the TEV, aka the Good News Bible, which is right here. Okay? This one we're reading out of. All right, so first the summary. This chapter consists of genealogies compiled from a variety of sources and corresponds with 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verses 34 through 54. Here, Esau, or Edom, had 3 wives: Ada, a Hittite; Oholibamah, a Hivite; and Basmath, a daughter of Ishmael. Esau left Canaan for the hill country of Edom, that is, for his lands, because the Canaan pasture land could not support both his and his brother's livestock. Esau, the biblical founder of the Edom people. The chapter then gets into the ancestry of Edom's indigenous people, given as their forefather, a man named Seir. Anna, a famous Edomite, whose story is lost to us, is mentioned, as is his story of discovering some hot springs in the wilderness. The natives of this land are called the Horite. The chapter then gives Edom the honor of having kings in the land before Israel, including Hadad, a famous king who defeated the Midianites in the land of Moab. The chapter then gives a list of Edomite regions and tells which tribes have relations with Israel through Esau. The view of this chapter on Esau and his descendants differs from later and post-biblical traditions about the man and his people. Now let's get into the summary. Verse 1. These are the descendants of Esau, also called Edom. These long genealogies were a way of marking the end of biblical narratives, before the advent of chapters, paragraphs, punctuation, or verses. Verses 2 and 3. Esau married Canaanite women: Ada, the daughter of Elon the Hittite; Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, son of Zibeon the Hivite; and Basmath, the daughter of Ishmael and sister of Nebaioth. The names and parentage given in this chapter differs greatly from those in chapters 26 and 28. At chapter 26, Esau married Judith and Basmath, and at chapter 28 he married Mahalath. The way literalists get around this problem is twofold. 1. They say the women may have had 2 names, much as other characters in the Bible have a nickname or get their names changed. Here, the women most likely got their names changed by their husband. Or 2, they assume that Esau had more than 3 wives. Then we get to verse 6. Then Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the people of his home, along with all his livestock, and all the possessions he had gotten in the land of Canaan, and went away from his brother Jacob to another land. This echoes the story of Abraham's and Lot's split back in chapter 13. Then we get to verse 9. These are the descendants of Esau, the ancestor of the Edomites. Literalists get around the discrepancies by calling them subsections, expanding the list. The lists. It's list with an S. The lists. Or supplements to the more consistent list. Lists. This second intro into this chapter shows an overlap of sources that were compiled, likely one being a priestly origin, and another being of non-priestly origin. Then we get to verse 12. And by another wife, Timnah, he had one more son, Amalek. Amalek's mention here as the son of a concubine is meant to disparage him, as he was a great enemy of the Israeli people, as can be read about in Exodus chapter 17 and in Deuteronomy chapter 25. Then we get to verse 21. The original inhabitants of the land of Edom were divided into tribes, which traced their ancestry to the following descendants of Seir and Horite. The Horites are most likely the Hurons, known from cuneiform script. Then we get to verse 31. Before there were any kings in Israel, the following kings ruled the land of Edom in succession. The kings listed in this chapter were more likely types of judges, that is, warlords. The reference to Israeli kings to a monarchy puts the writing of this chapter after the time of King Saul. However, for those who want to reconcile this chapter with known history, an argument has been made that perhaps Moses was the first king of the Israelites, but that claim is unfounded, ahistorical, and unbiblical. It is King David who will make Edom a vassal state to Israel. Another way to get around the contradictions or discrepancies in this chapter is to say that their names represent dynasties and not individuals. Then we get to the final verse of today's readings. Verse 40. Esau was the ancestor of the following Edomite tribes. The word being translated as tribes here can be read as warlords, judges, chiefs of clans, or tribal chiefs. And that's it for today's readings. That's today's Bible study. Next week, we will be doing a new Bible translation. I have two new Bibles that I got today. I will be putting a video up on that if you guys want to see my study Bibles. I will also be putting up a video soon on how I go about my studying now that I have more materials to reference. But here are the Bibles we have coming up for the next few weeks. We have the CEV. We have the NLT. We have the NLT. We have the NAB. And we have the CTS, which is based off the New Jerusalem. So we have the CTS. So we got two more to go. We got two, I think these are easy readers. We get two easy readers, and then we get to two Catholic, and then we'll start the cycle all over again. I do plan to get an Amplified Bible just to see what that is, and maybe a Net Bible as well. But anyway, there you go. Talk to you all later. Have a great night. Comment down below. Let's start some discussions, people. Peace.